Where is my wife? Lucas tried to sound nonchalant. Luke, it's been 2 weeks. I don't know what to tell you. The woman is a ghost. Alan sighed. I'm not obsessing. Lucas muttered defensively, seizing Sarah's plain wedding ring off the nightstand. There wasn't even a single diamond chip on. Why did she never ask him for some jewelries? Oh.
Yeah.
You moved into the villa you avoided for 3 years. You are sleeping in the bed you refused to share with her. Every morning you ask me if I found her. You are obsessing. But why? You never paid any attention to your contact married wife, so why now? Why did she leave? Why should she stay? Alan said bluntly. We're only surprised Sarah didn't leave you sooner. She was completely ignored by her husband for 3 years. And you keep cheating on her and making her a laughingstock to everyone. What? I didn't cheat. Lucas sputtered. Really? Alan's eyes narrowed. You show up to galas with her in the same plain, black gown and won't even look at her. Then you take Madeline shopping for designer dresses and jewelry before showing up to places with her hanging off your arm like some giggly schoolgirl going to her prom. How could people not think you're having an affair? I never touched her. My sister Lydia is the one I take shopping. Madeline just tags along. And the difference being? Alan rolled his eyes. Taking out his phone, he called up several pictures before handing it over. Lucas looked at the screen and paled. The images showed him with Madeline trying on dresses, modeling dresses for him, picking out a new necklace, even attending various events hanging off his arm as Alan said. Alongside were headlines reading, "A night out, but where's Mrs. Stanton? Say hello to the soon-to-be Mrs. Stanton too." Who the hell did this? Lucas said in his fury, then panic climbed in. Had Sarah seen these toxic stories painting her as a powerless fool? Had she believed them? These are the articles the Eagle and others have been publishing for the past 2 years. Alan showed more images. And these are the tamer headlines. Luke, for 3 years your wife was publicly mocked across the country and snubbed by society. Snubbed? What do you mean? She hardly received any invitations to any events from anybody. Lucas's brow furrowed. What about the mixer and the New Year's gala, Anne? Those were invitations you received, not her. That's absurd, Lucas sputtered. They dare do that to a Stanton? Because everyone knew she meant nothing to you and no good would come of being friendly with her. They just followed your lead. I'm surprised she stayed as long as she did, Alan sighed deeply. I don't know any woman who would have stayed half that long unless she really did love you. Lucas paled. Could it be true? Did Sarah have genuine feelings for him? How? When? Why didn't she say anything? Find her, Alan, Lucas rasped, finally meeting his friend's knowing gaze. Spend whatever it takes, tap every resource, just bring Sarah home. Sarah was awakened by a door slamming shut. Sitting up, she reached for a robe before cautiously stepping out of her bedroom only to come face to face with her absentee husband. Lucas? WH, what are you doing here? He cut her off by pulling her close and passionately kissing her. His tongue invaded her mouth as his hands gripped her, squeezing hard. Sarah struggled to push him away, finally succeeding in breaking their kiss, though she lacked the strength to break his embrace completely. Lucas, are you drunk? She asked, her nose wrinkling. I'm only drunk for you, baby, he answered, picking her up. He grunted as they fell onto the bed together. Capturing her mouth again, he swallowed her protests, groping her body. He tugged off her robe in search of her skin. His forcefulness surprised her, as he always treated her coldly, but Sarah would be lying if she said she never dreamed of him touching her like this, unrestrained and full of desire. Her body had never been touched before, so every caress seemed to set it on fire. Lucas mumbled as he kissed down her neck before taking her erect bud in his mouth. Sarah moaned at the unusual sensation. She squirmed as something seemed to awaken within her, drawn out by his touch. Was she going insane? His hand slipped between her legs, fondling her thighs, before finding its way to her panties. Pushing them aside, his fingers plunged into her. Sarah yelped as he stimulated her from the inside. Pleasure and pain erupted through her as her hips grinded against his invading hand. "Yeah, you like that," he mumbled. "There's more where that came from." Mounting her, he thrust inside of her, driving his swollen member inside past barriers she didn't know existed. Sarah moaned, her body quivered as it neared its peak of pleasure. "That's right, baby. That's what you want, isn't it, Maddie?" What? Sarah suddenly gasped. "Luke, what did you?" Her protest became a moan as he drove her to the edge before emptying himself inside her with a satisfied groan. Completely spent, he pulled out of her before collapsing across the bed in a drunken stupor.